I just missed a wonderful opportunity for a bit of filming there. That sign in the middle, sorry, I had to just check if I'm going to bump into anything. It says, danger, military firing range, keep away. And then there's a drum kit there. there's a drummer with a bow, moored. Hopefully, I didn't identify them because that wouldn't be nice. Moored where it says danger, military firing range, keep out. Anyway, good morning. We are headed north on the Coventry Canal, the last bit of the Coventry Canal, and we're headed toward Fradley Junction, and we got some sunshine, not that you know it because we're shaded by trees, and then we're going to head on to the Trent and Mersey. Now we've ascertained that we have done all of this before. We're going to go and do the Corden Canal, but probably not today. Today we'll be going up probably, I don't know, Great Haywood, something like that. Might meet up with some people, who knows. So yes, weather forecast isn't dreadful for today. It says we might get the odd shower. I can live with that. It's all right with me. This is Whittington. The only reason I know that is I just looked on the map, and it's got a bell in and a dog in, and I misread the second one. It's true, that adage, you know, of mine, where I reckon the only place you're guaranteed to meet a boat coming the other way is bridges, bends, and where there's other boats. And garden gnomes, obviously. I don't think they could have had more garden gnomes, could they? He's got a captain's cap on in a Black Prince hire boat. I don't want to make any what's the term, stereotypes out of that, but if anyone's ever seen the film G, which starred Harry H. Corbett, who was Steptoe's son, Harold, in Steptoe and Son. That's interesting because, well, I'll come back to that. Anyway, the G, and there was one of the characters in there was played by Eric Sykes, who had a captain's cap on and sank his boat and all sorts of things, and dived in to save someone and found himself sort of like in the canal up to his knees. That sort of slapstick thing. But anyway, it's a strange to see someone wearing a captain's cap on a narrow boat, on a hire boat. Obviously it was, no, just don't go there. But it was on a bend by a bridge, so that's where you're going to meet other boaters, always. There's a report out today, and I think I covered this in one of my previous vlogs, before the report was actually published, about the use of language. I think it was when I was talking about I was going to go and do my swearing workshop, and because my accent was very much like Harold's in Steptoe and Son. If you've never watched Steptoe and Son, I'm sure you'll find some clips on Google. And I was, oh my God, that was my family. Oh my God, you really are a dirty old man. And that was all my family. And at the age of about 6 or 7, a favourite uncle, well, you shouldn't have favourite uncle, should you? An uncle who I liked a lot, Uncle Walter, Wally, everyone used to call him, had a sort of life-changing impact on me, because what Wally has said was, And this was you got to remember, a long time ago, back in the 1960s. He said, I'll give you a bit of advice, boy. He says, you ever want to get on in life, he said, don't talk like what I do. I think he swore actually, but it doesn't matter. He might not have done actually, I don't know. And then he said, you want to get yourself listening to that there Radio 4. He says, you listen to, no, it wasn't Radio 4. It couldn't have been, because I don't think Radio 4 was in existence then. He says, you want to listen to them on the BBC. He says, you listen to them on the BBC, you learn to talk how they talk. He says, that will set you up for life, mate. And it was kind of true. It was long after that I did start changing the way I spoke, and it was probably not long after that I had various other educational opportunities, one of which was going to grammar school. That's another story altogether. But there's this report today that says regional accents are pretty much doomed. They will be no more. Within 40 years, there will be no more regional accents, and there's a fucking boat coming this way. I'm just going to whip in here and get out of their way. I think I'm going to stop filming for a moment. Oh, well, that was fairly painless. It's only a little boat, so that wasn't too bad. We're going to meet the working boat, I'm sure, on the next bend. But there you go. There's this report, anyway, as I said, saying that all regional accents will be dead within 40 years. And I think it's about this homogenisation that we're going through. Because it's strange, I went from being a little cheeky chappy Cockney geezer, which I can still do. I know that boat. We've passed that boat a couple of times, if you follow previous vlogs. The homogenisation of our regional accents, I think, is quite sad. Because I lost the Cockney accent and developed this received pronunciation, and now I can quite often find myself doing a little bit of a Yorkshire accent, and sometimes I don't realise that I'm doing it. Sounded like John Noakes then, didn't it? Get down, Shep. Younger viewers will not know who John Noakes is, which is a damning indictment on our history. Everyone should be taught who John Noakes was. And it's a kind of it's a strange thing that I still find myself doing, and which is changing my accent ever so slightly, not necessarily always consciously, I should add, sometimes quite subconsciously, depending on who I'm talking to. And like doing the lectures in America was absolutely amazing, because the Americans, and I've got quite a few American friends, so I'll use my words cautiously. The Americans love an English accent, and the more posherer it sounds, the more they like it. And you could always be guaranteed a nice room in a hotel, or a good seat in a restaurant, or sometimes back in the day when you'd be upgraded because you actually spoke to a person rather than did it all online, it would very often lead to an upgrade. And the other thing I have always kind of like tried not to play on too much was, as soon as they made me a professor, I would just drop that in every now and then on the telephone to get a better hotel room or something, and then obviously as soon as they clapped eyes on me, they would regret instantly making the assumption that the title professor, which I tend not to use. I use doctor, obviously, because I earned that. I didn't really earn the professorship, and along with a nice accent does open doors for you. So my Uncle Walter, Uncle Wally, top geezer, cheers for that, lad, and all that sort of I call it the dissemination of the East End post-war. Everybody moved out to places like Kent and Essex and whatever, and by that I mean the Second World War for younger viewers. That's a bit of a sorry sight, isn't it? I don't think that one will be much longer before it's in the same state. Let's try not to bump into this bridge, Martin. It's turned into a reasonably nice little jaunt, this. It's a bit low back there. I had to duck. How nice is that? Bridge 89. I wonder if we're going to get up to 101. Almost bang on 1 o'clock. And we are at Fradley Junction. Last time we did this, we had come up that way. I don't know. I'd need to look at a map again. So we're turning left here. Yeah. I'm not sure if we've done this both ways. I haven't done masses around this area, but I'm sure we've done... Oh, I don't know. I'd need to look at maps to know what I'm doing. Right, goodbye Oxford, no, Coventry, goodbye Coventry Canal, and onto the Trenton Mersey. Right, just in time as well, by the look of it. So now we go, this is Fradley Junction, by the way. Now we go up towards Great Haywood Junction, which is quite possibly... Whoa, that wind! Bloody hellfire! Okay, that's not good. I don't like it when it's windy, because you have to use a little bit more power. Disastrous as I was expecting. So now we're going uphill again. After having come downhill from Birmingham, we're now going uphill to Great Haywood. Hopefully going uphill might mean I get a bit of a better signal. Oh, this was fun. That boat there didn't want to wait for the one that was in the lock to go down, so emptied the fucking pound. Anyway, I've become unstuck. Thank God there's only 3 locks in this flight. Fuck's sake. Impatient, selfish wankers. What do you think, Marley? Huh? What do you think? It's a toss-up at the moment, you know. I think some liveaboards feel they have a inalienable right to just do whatever the fuck they want. It wasn't necessary to empty that pound of water just for them to come up because they didn't want to wait for the next boat. Now, in a sense, hirers would have some kind of excuse, but when water levels are low, just for that extra 10 minutes to speed your journey up is unnecessary and wasteful and selfish. And it meant that I had to ask Charlotte to run some more water down, which is even more wasteful because I was stuck on the bottom. So I don't know, sometimes I think I'd prefer hirers to liveaboards, because at least kind of the excuse there is that they haven't been given adequate training. And now I know I'm going to have that one coming out of that lock any minute now and wanting to just get a water skier out. Boating. It's too early to drink yet. Imagine my delight. You. I think I took the best line through there. I took the only line through there. Now these weeping willows, they're all very nice and everything, but seriously guys, it is a bit of a navigational hazard. Talking of navigational hazards, what little fucker chucked that in? Oh, that's a lot of statics. Lovely spot though. Stop off for just half a dozen pints would be nice. Imagine they do a bad trade there, if I'm honest. One that might recover from COVID quite quickly once all those statics are inhabited again. I often joke about not wanting to meet a boat coming t'other way. This is one of the places you don't want to meet a boat coming t'other way. Oh, that though, that's strange, isn't it? Yeah. It's almost as if they've just carved through the stone and then built this. Ooh. Righty ho. For all the tunnel junkies, it's not much of a tunnel, but it might be about as good as it gets today. I'm going to have a little look on the map when I'm out of here. That's if I've got a signal, obviously. Try and find out what's above here. You'll notice the redness of the rock that they've cut into here, and that is a ferrous oxide, and they would mine down here for iron. Let's have a quick look, see what is up there. Back in a minute. Well, it's bigger than it needs to be, I'm sure, because oops, it just says on maps that that is Rugeley Road. No, that's what it says. Anyway, this is I do remember this particular bit. I've got some lovely photos coming down here in the rain. Yes, but it's definitely not where you want to meet another boat. This is partly why it's called the cut, because they cut literally straight through anything that they came across to make the canal. So limestone, granite, whatever they found, they blast its way through it or smash their way through it. Oh, glad am I that there's not a queue of boats waiting to come through. I'm sure this particular little bit has got a name. This is Rugeley, by the way. It's 4:30. We need to be at Great Haywood for 7. Should just about be doable, I hope. Not too sure what to say apart from, do I know you? Canal side eccentricity is a really weird thing, you know, boys and girls. I feel like they've pretty much upstaged me a little bit. I feel sort of inclined to ensure that Polly, Delilah and Florence get a makeover when we get back. I love it. Canal side eccentricity. This is another one of those aqueducts that featured in my photo, because we didn't do a lot of video, my photo collection of when we was bringing this little airboat back to Sheffield. I don't know why I quite like aqueducts over rivers. Water on water. How are we doing? We've got 20 to 6. I think we ought to be about right. What do you think, Marley? We should... Marley? Sit down, darling. That's a good boy. Stop whinging. We should be about right to get into Great Haywood. I'm going to have a little look on the map, but we're meeting Elwyn tonight in pub. He's driven up from Coventry, and I really should know how far away that is, but you know me, I don't think it's that far, although it might be. Marley, shut up. We're then going to Stone and Stoke, and that's sort of like Jeff and Tom and a few others who we know in that area. But the thing with Stoke is I've got to get some oatcakes, North Staffordshire oatcakes, because it's the law. They're growing wild in the fields there, look. When I was younger, one of my aunties had a couple of old railway carriages in her garden. In fact, I think she was probably one of those pseudo aunties. Wasn't a real auntie. Proper railway carriages. It's a big thing back then, apparently. Bridge 69 on the Trent and Mersey Canal. As evening falls and my thoughts turn toward the pub. What about you, Marley?